In early 2025, Salesforce announced it was cutting its customer support workforce from 9,000 to 5,000 people. That's 4,000 jobs gone. And the headline response was predictable: outrage, concern, the usual conversation about AI taking jobs. But here's what that conversation missed entirely. Salesforce didn't cut those jobs because business was slow. They cut them the same quarter they reported accelerating revenue growth. More customers, more contracts, more demand. They needed fewer people to serve more customers. And that is not a story about efficiency. That is a story about a fundamental change in what a company actually is. Because for the last 100 years, when a business grew, it hired. Growth and headcount moved together. They were the same thing. That assumption is now broken, and the companies that understand why are already restructuring around it. The ones that don't are going to find out the hard way. To understand what's actually happening, you need to understand how businesses have always thought about labor. When a company needed something done, it had two options: build the capability in-house by hiring people, or outsource it to a vendor. And for most of the 20th century, the math almost always favored hiring. Because humans are general purpose. You hire one person and they can do 10 related things. They can adapt, improvise, and handle edge cases that no one thought to write a rule for. A customer service representative doesn't just answer questions. They de-escalate angry customers, identify upsell opportunities, flag product issues back to the engineering team, and build relationships that keep accounts from churning. That flexibility had a price. Salaries, benefits, training, management overhead, office space, turnover. But companies paid it because the alternative was worse. Then software arrived and started eating the edges of that equation. Ticketing systems automated routing. CRM platforms automated follow-up. Chatbots handled the simplest queries. But here's the thing about all of that first generation of automation: it could only handle what it was explicitly programmed to handle. The moment a situation fell outside the script, it broke down. You'd hit a dead end in a chatbot and end up back on hold with a human. Software made humans more efficient. It didn't replace them. That's what changed. Because what's being deployed now isn't software in the traditional sense. It's something that can read context, make judgment calls, take multi-step actions across multiple systems, and handle situations it has never encountered before. Think of the difference this way. The first generation of automation was a vending machine, reliable, fast, but only capable of doing exactly what it was stocked to do. What we're deploying now is closer to a contractor, someone you brief on the outcome you want, and who figures out the steps to get there. That distinction changes everything about the economics of hiring. So what exactly is an AI agent? The term gets used loosely, so let's be precise. An AI agent is a system that can perceive its environment, set intermediate goals, take actions across tools and platforms, and adjust its behavior based on what it encounters, all without a human directing each step. In practical terms, you give it an objective, and it works out how to achieve it. That sounds like marketing language, but the operational reality is significant. A single AI agent can simultaneously monitor incoming customer requests, query a database for account history, draft a personalized response, escalate edge cases to a human, log the interaction, and update the CRM record. All of it in parallel, at a scale no human team can match. GitLab saw this clearly. When they restructured in 2025, they didn't frame it as cost-cutting. They explicitly described it as preparing for what they called the agentic AI era, a period where the unit of work shifts from a human doing a task to an agent completing an objective. And Marc Benioff at Salesforce was even more direct. He described AI agents as a digital labor force, a phrase worth sitting with, because it reframes the entire conversation. Labor has always been something companies rent from humans by the hour or the year. What Benioff is describing is labor that companies own, or more precisely, subscribe to. Capabilities that can be scaled up or down instantly, that don't require onboarding, that don't have bad days, and that get cheaper every year as the underlying technology improves. Here is the reframe that changes how you see all of this. Companies have never actually wanted employees. They wanted capabilities. Employees were just the only reliable way to get them. AI agents are the first technology that delivers capabilities without the employee attached. That's not an incremental improvement. That's a different model entirely. Now let's look at what this does to the structure of companies, because the implications go well beyond customer service. The traditional org chart was built around a simple logic. Humans doing work need to be coordinated, so you build layers of coordination around them. You need recruiters to find people, managers to direct them, HR systems to track them, office infrastructure to house them, and finance teams to pay them. All of that overhead exists because of the fundamental nature of human labor. When you replace a portion of that labor with AI agents, you don't just remove the headcount. You remove the entire infrastructure built around the headcount. The HR systems designed to manage them. The office infrastructure built to house them. The finance workflows built to pay them. The compliance processes built to protect them. Every function that existed to support human workers at scale shrinks, restructures, or disappears entirely. This is why the layoffs we're seeing aren't just in the roles being automated, they're rippling through every support function that existed to serve those roles. And that's a much bigger surface area than most people realize. And the economics compound in a way that's important to understand. A human employee costs roughly the same whether the business is growing or contracting. An AI agent scales with usage. In a downturn, you dial it back. In a growth period, you expand it, without a hiring cycle, without onboarding, without the 6-month lag between identifying a need and having someone productive in the seat. For a CFO looking at a balance sheet, this isn't a technology decision. It's a structural arbitrage. The companies moving fastest on this aren't doing it because they hate their employees. They're doing it because the economics are so compelling that the ones who don't move will be at a structural cost disadvantage within 5 years. That's not a prediction. That's already visible in the margin expansion data of the companies that have moved earliest. So what does this mean if you're building a career right now? The honest answer is that the roles most at risk are not the ones people typically assume. The conventional wisdom says automation hits low-skill, repetitive work first. And historically that was true. Assembly line workers, data entry clerks, basic processing roles. But AI agents are different. They're most effective in roles that are high volume, rule adjacent, and information intensive. Customer support, compliance, risk assessment, HR operations, mid-level analysis. Roles that require judgment, but judgment of a fairly bounded kind. These are not low-skill roles. Many of them require degrees, certifications, and years of experience. And they sit squarely in the middle of the career ladder that millions of people are currently climbing. The uncomfortable truth is this: the roles that felt safe because they required training and expertise are the exact roles that AI agents are being built to perform. Not because those roles are simple, but because they're well-defined enough for an agent to learn, and high volume enough to make the economics worth it. What remains genuinely protected are the roles at the extremes. Work that requires physical presence and dexterity in unpredictable environments. And work that requires the kind of judgment that comes from navigating genuinely ambiguous situations, with incomplete information and real stakes, the kind of judgment that can't be reduced to an objective. The career question worth asking right now is not, will my job be automated? It's, is what I do an objective or a judgment? Because objectives are increasingly something you can hand to an agent. Judgment is still something you have to earn. Salesforce cutting 4,000 customer support roles while growing revenue is not an isolated event. It's a signal. The signal is that we have crossed a threshold where AI agents are capable enough, cheap enough, and reliable enough to replace not just tasks, but roles. Not just augment workers, but substitute for them at scale. This doesn't mean human work is ending. It means the definition of valuable human work is narrowing, and it's narrowing faster than most career advice, most college curricula, and most corporate training programs have begun to account for. The companies that understand this are already restructuring. The workers who understand this are already repositioning. Everyone else is still waiting for a headline that makes it feel real. If this is the kind of structural analysis you want more of, the shifts that are already in motion before they become impossible to ignore, subscribe. Because by the time this makes the front page, the people who acted on it will already be 3 steps ahead.